لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله الأمين صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him abundantly the way He deserves to be praised. And we bear witness and testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah. He is alone, He has no partners. And we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a slave and His messenger, whom we ask Allah to exalt His mention, grant Him peace, and send His salutations and His blessings upon Him and upon His companions and His wives and all those who follow them on the path of righteousness until the day of recompense. O you who have believed, be mindful of Allah and fear Him the way He deserves to be feared. And do not die except in a state of submission as Muslims. Brothers in Islam, it is not a surprise to any of you that as Ramadan approaches, the anticipation increases. Ramadan is an opportunity that we promise ourselves on a yearly basis to invest in. However, for many of us on a yearly basis we fail. It has become like a broken record for many. This Ramadan, I will do this and that, and so on and so forth. And perhaps in the first few days, some of that is done. And then it starts to wither away. Towards the middle of Ramadan, things are not the same anymore. Then, by the time we reach the end, we start having that internal conversation. I'll fix it next year. And the intelligent one amongst us will say, Inshallah. Some won't even remember that. Next year, I will not let this happen again. But then next year comes, and it happens again. Did you ever wonder why? Do we ever wonder why? Because this is a serious issue here. The issue is Allah promised us certain things. So either one can claim that Allah is not keeping His promises, ma'adh Allah, we seek refuge with Allah to attribute to Him that, or there's something wrong in us. And I believe any believer, no matter how arrogant he is, will say, no, the problem is with me. Surely Allah doesn't promise and betray the promise, but somehow I'm doing something wrong. So what is it then that leads us to be in this vicious cycle year after year, some of us for 20, 30 years, depending on how many Ramadans you've had in your life, where there's little to no change? It's because of the principle of life that not only applies to this issue, rather every issue. Everything in this life requires one fundamental quality, which, brothers, we often lack. And because of lacking this quality, we find we are in this predicament. I'll give you another example to bring the point closer to home. How many of us say to ourselves, I've lived a bad life, and Allah promised that if we have Hajjun Mabrur, an acceptable, righteous Hajj, everything we have done in the past will be removed of sins. And Allah gave some very basic conditions that we have to meet. One of them is La jidala fil Hajj, no argumentation. And we can easily say to ourselves, that's not a big deal. I'm an argumentative type of person. I often argue, but on Hajj, I will keep my mouth shut. And we live our lives with the same quality of arguing all the time. And then Hajj comes around. And believe me, that brother starts with the bus driver. The arguments begin from the first step of Hajj throughout until he goes back home. He would have argued with half of the Hujjaj. Everyone in the tent, everyone on the bus, every single driver, so on and so forth. Then he wonders, how come I wasn't able to pull this one off? Well, brother, you didn't train yourself to be ready for this. This is our problem. We want to do everything our way, and then suddenly in Ramadan I'm going to convert to an angel in a sense, in terms of righteousness. I'm going to convert to the best Muslim in the world. Nice try, brother, but it doesn't happen, except rarely. So we will not deprive the people of the mercy of Allah. It happens, but rarely for some individuals, for usually other reasons, not simply that. But for the rest of us, we basically fooled ourselves into this position. And then we hope for a change. But wait a second, I might cause despair right now. I'm almost telling you, brother, there's no hope, because since last Ramadan until Ramadan, which is a couple of weeks away, you haven't done anything, so you're done. You haven't trained yourself to be good enough for this Ramadan? No, Habib, don't worry. It is not the case either. You don't have to go through a whole year training for that change to take place. But there are some things which we have to prepare from now and then implement in Ramadan. And that is the objective of the khutbah. Forget about the theoretical discussion about things and the virtues behind that. I think we all know. And I'm sure before Ramadan begins, you must hear another khutbah or hear some lecture or read something about the virtues of fasting and the virtues of praying Taraweeh. But you see, it's one thing to know the virtues, and it's another thing to have a plan which I can execute, put into practice, implement, and then get some return on my investment. You see, the business world is very much similar to everything in our lives. And there's no harm in trying to understand some religious ideas from a business point of view, since money rules the world. When we do a business, we don't just randomly choose a property and just buy it, hope that it will become more valuable after a couple of years. No, we go through a process. We have a plan. We have numbers. We do research. We ask, we inquire. We calculate. And then we either move forward or hold back. So for this Ramadan, let us have a plan. This plan is far from being mission impossible. I'm not going to give you a plan that's going to make you go like this, say, how am I going to do this now? Because our religion is much easier than that. The plan is simple, but somehow, some way, only if you act upon it. Wallahi, it's easy to whomever Allah allows it to be easy. Because it's a state of mind. It's mind over matter. It's a state of mind that we should have. And Allah facilitates according to the intentions. Which is the first thing. Intentions. We should have the intention from now that I will make this Ramadan different than the previous years. The value of this intention is, if Allah decreed that one of us passes away before Ramadan arrives, then you will have the reward of that intention. Versus the person who's heedless about the intention, he gets nothing. So that intention has to be present from now. Number 2, Ramadan is a month of fasting. And it really blows my mind, and maybe yours. How can someone gain weight in Ramadan? How does this happen? You go to school to earn education, then you forget 2 times 2, 3 plus 3, to get a PhD. How does that work? issues result from this attitude. You will not possibly enjoy Taraweeh or benefit from it thereof if you had shoved down 2 whole chickens and a bunch of rice on your own for iftar. It's not gonna happen unless you are Superman, and Superman is fictitious. Your body will be exhausted from suddenly having to digest a large amount of food after doing nothing the whole day. The result is fatigue. The result is yawning. The result is the sleepiness, drowsiness. This leads to, let me find the masjid with the shortest salah. This leads to backbiting the imam who recites properly, because he takes his time and he wants to recite a whole page in a rak'ah. This leads to hatred for Taraweeh and that becoming a burden on our shoulders. Then we wonder why Ramadan wasn't working well. Well, excuse me, my brother. What kind of attitude is this towards worshiping Allah? What do we think this is? And all this could have been avoided had we followed the Sunnah. But the Sunnah is too much to follow. Can I really eat only some dates for iftar and a little bit of something to keep me, to at least satisfy my hunger? You don't have to execute your hunger. You don't have to eat till you can't breathe, till you can't move. That's not Islamic. The Prophet ﷺ said the worst container the son of Adam fills is his belly. Sufficient for the son of Adam is a few bites to keep his back straight. And if it is inevitable that you want to eat your heart out, as they say, then make it 1/3 for food, 1/3 for drink, and 1/3 for air, so you can still breathe after you're done eating. So tip number 1, take it easy on yourself at iftar time. Ma'alish, the time between Maghrib and Isha is very short. Eat a light meal so you're still fresh, and then after you're done with Taraweeh, you can make up for the sacrifice you made, Jazakallah khair. And even then, slow down. But at least then you can eat freely, because what happens afterwards is free. You could sleep, you could read. Even if you read in the Quran, you could do so while reclining, while relaxing. But you can't do this in Taraweeh. Stand on your feet for an hour. This needs energy. So tip number 1, have mercy on yourself and don't overeat. If you do so, you are expected to lose some weight at the end of Ramadan, and Ramadan is not a dietary program. But the end result is that you lose some weight, not gain some weight. Tip number 2, and it's related to the first. You see how ugly Jeddah becomes in terms of traffic in Ramadan. You almost hate yourself for driving the car anywhere. Everybody's out at the same time for Allah knows what reasons. No issue. The only time that in the evening that you will be able to drive as if the streets are empty is right after Maghrib. Because until Fajr, mashallah, the traffic is on. Right after Maghrib, you will hardly find any cars. A piece of advice from a younger brother. After you finish this lovely light meal of yours, which is not all greasy food, go to the masjid. Go out to the masjid, ya akhi. And find a masjid that doesn't have to be the masjid next door. Find a masjid where you enjoy the recitation of the imam. An imam who follows the sunnah. Even if it takes you half an hour, fi sabilillah. The streets are empty. You will get there in no time, inshallah. 20 minutes after after you do Salatul Maghrib, you eat a light meal, you refresh yourself, make wudu, take some snacks with you. What do you drink? Coffee, tea, your preference. Make life easy. Take your equipment with you. You need a special seat, you need a special rug, you need any cushion, take them with you and go to the Salah. Enter the masjid, you will hardly find anyone in the masjid as well. First row, air conditioning, no stinky areas. Because the stinky part is always in the back, where people's feet and sweat and everything, all of them just assemble in the back. You make sujood where 20 people stood before who don't happen to have any hygiene consideration for the rest of the ummah. But in this beautiful first row, never will you smell feet, because no one was standing there. You want to call it VIP? Go ahead. Very intelligent person, I would say. And grab that spot. You have time to read Quran. You have time to pray. There's more sincerity because there's less people. You have your area, so no one will take it. You go renew your wudu, come back, no problem. While you are there, the malaika are making dua for you. Allahumma aghfir lah, Allahumma arhamhu, oh Allah forgive him, Allah have mercy on him. And Allah will give you the reward of the salah as long as you are in the masjid, as per the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when Isha comes around, you're prepared spiritually and physically. You pray, you finish, you go back home. You will suffer on the way back with the traffic. This is the sacrifice. Nothing is for free in the dunya. Even things that are for free are not free for real. There's something behind it. How difficult is that? Piece of cake. But no, I want to eat, and I want to catch the program on the TV. The special episodes for Ramadan season. The shayateen who work now to ruin your Ramadan in Ramadan. So they can take a break then and still ruin your Ramadan. Oh, I want to socialize. Visitations, and Ramadan is nothing but visitations and eating. Visitations and eating. It's okay to say to the people that you know, ma'alish, I have some rule for myself. I would love to come and have dinner at your place after Taraweeh. As for after Maghrib, that's a tough one for me, akhi. Or, allow me, I will come have a light meal and leave. Most people will say, Hayyak Allah, come on, no problem. And most people will feel ashamed when they see you leave. They say, you know what, I'm coming with you. Tayyib, tafaddal. Now you get the ajr of this brother, who might start doing this because of you. So you will be among those who started a good sunnah, based on the Quran and the sunnah, not from your mind. Look how easy it is if you prepare from now. Anyone can do it. Unless certain people that have certain jobs which do not allow them, that I tell you, have that intention. If Allah facilitates, then do it. If you can take a vacation, let it be in the month of Ramadan. So you can invest, you can get something out of it. The only deprived people are those whose jobs conflict with this program. But for the most part, nobody's working between Maghrib and Isha. So even if you have to attend to work right after Isha, at least you spent the time between Maghrib and Isha in the masjid, and you prayed maybe 2 rak'at of Taraweeh, then you had to go to work. Allah will give you the ajr of your niyyah, and you'll be rewarded for the previous effort. As opposed to this last second, you come to the masjid, all the people everywhere, you're breathing hard, you have no idea what's going on, you're praying Isha behind the Imam, he's praying Taraweeh, your intention is Isha because you came too late. Then you ate so much, you're tired, you're yawning, you just want to get out. Then we wonder what happened to Ramadan, bro. I was making a lot of effort, but wrong preparation. In the second part of the khutbah, we'll give you some more tips. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. In relation to the Taraweeh, Taraweeh is not a ritual in a sense that all one has to do is one stand behind the Imam, and when he does ruku', you do ruku', when he does sujood, you do sujood, when he does taslim, you do taslim. When he makes a 10-minute dua that causes the people's legs to break, you say Ameen and you cry your heart out, and then you say Alhamdulillah, mission accomplished successfully. For many Muslims all over the world, that's exactly what Taraweeh is. But for some, it's something completely different. How do we know what Taraweeh is supposed to be? We have to go back into the time of the Sahaba and the Salaf, those who came after them, the early generations. Then we will understand the real objective of Taraweeh. We don't even know, some don't even know that Taraweeh comes from the word Raha, rest. Because they used to have to rest after every 4 rak'at because of the duration of the salah. Or they used to recline on a cane because the brothers couldn't keep standing on their feet. Because the Imam might recite in 1 rak'ah Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Imran and Al-Nisa. That was the Taraweeh back then. Now the Imam recites 1 page. Oi! Dhulm ya akhi! 1 whole page. Instead of finishing at 10:35, you finish at 10:38. What am I going to tell my boss? What do you want here? This is the Taraweeh. It's because we don't know what's going on in the Salah, my brothers, that we have this attitude. This is the attitude of the heedless. Why do we have this attitude? We don't know Arabic. Why don't we know Arabic? Well, it's not important enough. But if Arabic would help you earn double salary, oh, where's the institute? Where can I enroll? How do I do it? But Arabic will help you go to Jannah? Ma'alish. I will manage with my mother tongue. But the Imam will never recite the Quran for you in Urdu. He will never recite it in English. He will never recite it in Tagalog, no matter how much you dream about it. It will always be until the end of time in Arabic. And if you don't know what he's saying, you don't know what he's saying. You don't know what Allah's saying to you. And quite honestly, I'm not interested in attending a medical discussion among a bunch of Japanese doctors where they all speak in Japanese and I'm sitting there having no idea what they're saying. I'm not interested either. And I would be bored. And I would want to leave because I don't know what they're saying, even if they're speaking to me. So we understand why this feeling comes about. But what does it take really to learn some Arabic? I don't know. It's a language, for God's sake. It's a language. How many languages have you learned? Most people here speak at least 2 languages. Arabic could have been one of them, if you really were interested. But let's assume the worst. You have learning disabilities. You can't learn Arabic. You don't have the means, the tools, the money. You don't have it. No problem, akhi. No one is going to place a burden on you. What you can do, however, is read the meaning of the Quran in a language which you understand and go to an imam that's following a system, meaning every day he recites 1 juz or something of the sort, so you somewhat know what he will recite in the salah, so you prepare yourself for what will come after. You try to learn on your own the meaning of this word. لَعَلَّهُمْ يُرْحَمُونَ. So you start creating your own vocabulary. يُرْحَمُونَ from rahmah, mercy. Maybe, رُبَّمَا, maybe they will attain mercy. لَعَلَّ means maybe. You at least know some words. And slowly but surely, as you hear the Imam reciting, you can now engage. Or at least you start listening attentively, looking for the words that you know. But when you are so lazy and careless that you have no idea whatsoever, believe me, you will not listen attentively. You will be shopping for Eid in Taraweeh, thinking where to go. Is it haram? Is it going to be busy? I wonder what Tahliya is going to be like right now. This is the Salatul Taraweeh. Oh, the Imam is taking too long, traffic is too much, forget it, I'll go shopping tomorrow. You think the shaitan is on vacation in Ramadan? So khalas, all Muslims, enjoy Ramadan, I'm out. Shayateen are working, brothers. Those who are chained are the most wicked among them. The rest of them are working around around the clock. That's why people fight and punch each other at a food and tamiz joint. Ruin his fasting after a whole day of fasting. Ruin it for arguing over some food and tamiz. Amazing, just amazing. Because the shayateen are working and we are prepared. So my advice is, please, for Allah's sake and then for your own good, try to learn some words, at least some words. So you can be familiar, you can enjoy the salah. And the speech of Allah has the greatest impact on mankind. One word, one ayah can change your life. Wallahi. They say that one of the A'immah, Sufyan al-Thawri, if my memory serves me well, or Sufyan ibn Uyayna, he used to be an evil man. He used to have some problems. And he was going to fornicate with a woman. As he was climbing over the wall to get to her side, he heard someone recite an ayah from his house. أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُم مِّن ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Has the time not come for those who believe that their hearts tremble from the remembrance of Allah? That's all it took for him to hear. And now we speak about this Imam from the A'immah of this deen because of one ayah that hit hard. How difficult it is to know what it means. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. You know what that means? If you do the equivalent of a grain of good deed, you will see it. And if you do the equivalent of a grain of evil deed, you will see it. This ayah is enough to stop us from our sinfulness. Because the shaitan tells us, just you will figure it out on Yawm al-Qiyamah, just do whatever you want. But when this ayah hits, and you know, this sin I will do, Allah will know, Allah sees, and then I will see it in my book, then you will refrain from doing it. This is Qisar al-Suwar, brothers in Islam. These are the smallest surah in the Quran that we all have memorized. But why are you thinking about this ayah and surah al-Zalzala like this? Because someone explained it to you. True or false? True. You've heard it hundreds of thousands of times. It didn't affect you, did it? It didn't. Because you never thought about these words. Because we're lazy. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm trying to wake myself and wake you up. Because every time we say this could be our last Ramadan, but the truth is, this really could be our last Ramadan if we make it to Ramadan, that is. Let us be intelligent and not make this one like the previous ones. I will summarize, in case you forgot. Tip number 1, don't overeat. Tip number 2, try to leave right after you pray and eat for Salatul Maghrib and stay in the masjid. Tip number 3, familiarize yourself with the words of Allah so that you can enjoy Taraweeh. This is the spiritual nutrition which will bring about a change. This is what will make you feel good when Ramadan is over. This is what will make you enjoy Eid. Truly. Wallahi, it is easy. You know deep down it is easy. But it takes efforts. And in this life, it's always been the rule. Those who strive, achieve. And those who slack, watch. They watch others achieving. So where do you want to be, my brother, this Ramadan? Do you want to achieve, or do you want others? You want to watch others achieve while you have nothing but pity over yourself. It's in your control. And Allah is merciful to His creation. If Allah sees from us a small effort, Allah facilitates and gives us more than we even ask for. So I beg myself and you to have this resolve from this moment, and to have this agenda and plan and stick to it to the best of our abilities. We might mess up a couple of days here and there because of overwhelming situation, no problem. But that should not be the whole Ramadan. And perhaps you will feel for the first time in your 20, 30 years of fasting, there's a progress and there's hope. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم يا مصرف القلوب اصرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. اللهم ارحمنا برحمتك واغفر لنا وتب علينا ووفقنا لما تحبه وترضاه من القول والعمل. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها مولاها وأنت على كل شيء قدير. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. وصل اللهم وسلم على نبينا محمد.